Follow Equestria Brotherhood by Knucklewolf. Chapter 32 Secrets. What I do now will guarantee the continued survival of our province's future. Death paced itself across the center of the small dark room. Overhead, a single light fixture hung on the rocky ceiling, casting a bright pillar of white light down upon the polished steel table. A single iron door at the end of the room was the only exit, shrouded in shadows. Behind the table, sitting on low stools, was the warden and a miner. Tied around the miner's right foreleg, a green-stained bandage concealed a deep laceration underneath. Gently glistening underneath the metal rims of their glowing goggles, the two creatures sat stomped about the room, seething. The warmth of Thatch's blood flushed to his cheeks as his heart beat at great speed. Pausing in front of the table's center, he turned to the two miners, putting one hoof to the cold, gleaming tabletop. "What the hell are you doing?" Both miners held a stiff, upright posture whilst remaining completely silent. Lifting his other hoof on the table, Thatch leaned over to the miners. "Answer me now!" Right above bounced off his sturdy figure, blanketing all but his eyes in shadow. "You're not leaving until one of you speaks up." The miner sitting beside the warden looked up at Thatch. "I warden. Intruders are in the mine." "Yes, there were ponies from the outside in the mine," Thatch replied sweetly. "But do you know why?" The miners didn't answer. Thatch barked. "Because we wanted them to come in!" "Intruder is intruder," the warden commented. "No mercy for intruder. Only death." Planting so squarely on his brow, Thatch sighed. "Naturally, yes, but it was our emperor's plan to let them in." "Ow!" the miner hissed, drawing his head back. "Ow!" The warden shook his head at Thatch. "We are not surface legion. We are miners. We are strong." Wearing the warden, Thatch interjected. "No, you're not part of the legion, but so long as Iron Hammer remains unfinished, you work for us." Leaning intently towards the warden, Thatch's body hovered over the entire table. "You work for us. Period." Leaning down from the table, Thatch began pacing himself again. "If Emperor Vladimir has a plan, we must obey. If we obey him, so do you. There are no questions or remarks that need to be made, at all." Once more the miner said nothing. Stomping in the center of the room, Thatch exhaled through his nostrils. "Now, back to my initial question. What were you doing chasing them? Have you not heard about the plan?" "I see intruder. I follow intruder. I get warden. I find, rip, kill intruder," the miner said. "I bring more miners. Stop intruders," the warden added. Adjusting a brazier on his mask, the warden wheezed. "They almost break me. They dishonor the mine. Defile it with surface smell." "Well now, wouldn't that be a crime?" Thad sat down his haunches on a coarse, damp rock of the mine floor, crossed over his minor counterparts. "Has no one told you? Not a word?" The miners did not answer. "You know, many miners were hurt or injured during that little stunt of yours. All account of your actions." Gazing at the miner's eyes, Thad saw nothing. Underneath the eerie green glow of their goggles, no emotion nor thought could be seen. They were complete enigmas, staring blankly at him. "Well," Thad spat, "anything. Anything at all." Not even a cough came from the two. The door's heavy handle clicked, thunderously ringing throughout the room. Pushing the door open, Fencer's poked his pudgy head through the crack he made. "Am I interrupting the intervention? I have some news regarding Vladimir's position." Glancing over his shoulder, Thatch shook his head. "No, not at all." Returning to the warren and mire, Thatch whispered, "This discussion isn't over. If I hear Steven so much as a scuffle from a miner today, I'll punish the both of you. Do I make myself clear? In unison, the miners nod. Good. That's growled. Now get out. The miners scurried their seats back, letting out a cringing shriek as their legs rubbed against the floor. Rising together, the miners strolled side by side out of the room. General Fencers watched them cross the doorway and advance into the dark hallway outside. Shuffling to one of the stools, Dance followed his flank and rested upon the warm seat, laying on the side of his head on the chilled tabletop. He sighed, feeling a slight ache that felt within the top of his cranium. What am I going to do, Fencers? The multitude of metals adorning Fencers' chest clambered about as he approached the table. What do you mean? Vladimir left me in charge of Iron Hammer's operation. Me, of all ponies, has to deal with the miners. Stress of the job is finally getting to you, huh? Fencers chuckled, taking the stool next to That's. Barely able to sit on the stool, Fencers wobbled about, correcting his flank from falling off one side. That scoffed. Stress doesn't even begin to describe it. Suck it up, soldier! Fencers scoffed, sticking a hump into one of his uniform pockets. There's no shame in throwing it. Removing his hook from his pocket, Fencers held a circular drinking flask. There's some strong stuff in it. Takes the load right off of you. Well, personally, I prefer finding a straight line. Pressing the flask on the table, Dad picked it up, removing the tiny silver lid. Placing it to his lips, the burning brown liquid ran down his throat, numbing whatever it touched to its hard qualities. As the whiskey settled in his stomach, Dad gasped for air. Tightening the lid, he slid back to Fencers. I swear, Dad remarked, before the project came this close to being complete, the Nimers never acted this way. Do you think they're losing it? Finally snapping at the pressure of working under a superior order? Perhaps. That's everything he said. I'll have to keep an eye on what the warden and his rats do from now on. Expelling the air from his lungs, Dad looked to the ceiling. Maybe this whole idea is a sign for Celestia, telling me I am not fit for this position. Slapping Dad's torso in the back, Fencers scared. You can always send it over to me. I wouldn't mind having to sit around when the wall mine tunnels for a while. It sounds nice, doesn't it? That sighed. You have no idea what it's like to work with those tunneled rats. You just have to ensure the patrols don't die in the sea. How hard could that be? A wide grin plastered Fencer's chubby face, forming even more wrinkled rings on his bigger chin. When you have sources like mine, you begin to wonder why we found four of our own knocked completely out cold in a passenger car outside the mine, completely stripped of their armor. The comic gave that a curt smirk. That explains how they got the uniforms. What was that? Fencer stammered, shaking his head. Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. That's answered under his breath. Renting his ears, Daz leaned on the edge of the table. Now, what was that you were about to mention on the location of our Emperor? Frigid wire collected on the low, glossy ceiling of the narrow tunnel. Walking in a single file line, Neil followed behind the freelancer. Jillian was his brother. Droplets of the chilled liquid fell down to their drooping heads, hovering over the nauseating, rancid odors, looking for the squelching sound of the mud. The air was heavily saturated with cool, damp air, a stark contrast from the incinerating inferno of the mine. Both brothers' hooves sank to the cold musk squishing beneath them. Against the pools of puddle and irregular drips within the mud, or as light as their pit-buck glance shimmered off into the walls. Smelling the dank fragrance of the mud whipped up to his nose, Neo grimaced. Hey, do you know how long the way is until we're out of here? Neo's voice carried along the tunnel. On the soft splash, their hooves pressing against the mud. We'll be there soon. It's just a little further up, the freelancer offered. Looking up at the rough, tattered duster flap and the mysterious sound inside, Neil snorted the musky fumes from the ground out of his nostrils. Is that all you're going to say? Is there anything else I need to? The freelancer replied. Neil paused for a moment. Well, you could start by giving us your name. You could also enlighten me a little on how you were free inside the mine. The soft hairs on Vladimir's nape went stiff. A name was needed to keep his identity hidden. Even with his eyes changed and his appearance altered, a hint of who he was lingered inside him. Gulping down a coarse lump inside his throat, Vladimir muttered, I told you to discuss it once we got out. Neo narrowed his gaze at the stranger, stopping right where he stood in the tunnel. Holding his pace, Vladimir peeked over his shoulder at the agitated white stallion. Flossed in with wet brown smudges across his legs. Alice now bumped into Neo's flank, sending him backward, continuing on to the cycle of ponies, dozing one down the line. Lucy looked over the multitude of zebras, ponies, and bodies at Neo. What's the holdup? 1 second, Lucy. I need to figure something out first, Neo responded, keeping his eyes set on the freelancer. Vladimir didn't turn to face Neo, nor did he feel compelled to in the narrow space they were traveling in. Who are you? Neo inquired. Who? I'm not moving until we get some answers. Feeling a deep, icy wind was briskly drowsed by. Vladimir bit his lower lip gently. My name? Bodiless, the spectre chuckled in his ear. Well, the boy asked you a question. Don't leave him answerless. My name, Vladimir stammered, is Ranger. Neo's Argus pricked up at the answer. Ranger? Vladimir nodded once. Yes. My name is Ranger. I'm new to the Order. I joined just a little while before I was captured by Legion scouts outside the city's border. Taking a step towards Vladimir, Neo nodded. What were you doing outside the city? What will you say to that, I wonder? Be quick. It'll look suspicious if you sit about gaming for too long. The creature whispered in Vladimir's ear. I was searching for something, Vladimir answered. Searching for the Coalition project. I have information for them. The Cool Blue will obtain an Iron Hammer. How did she know where to go? Neo commented. She has information on everything, even the project. The map I was given was taken from me before I escaped. Scanning the stallion's puzzle saddlebags and disheveled attire, Neo continued. What do you need to take to them? The voice of the apparition lingered on a full, consistent laugh. Oh, I think he has you now. Vladimir barely turned his head around to see Neo. Out of the corner of his vision, Neo could be seen staring up at him, sincere glare. Speaking in a firm tone, Vladimir answered, Plans on how to destroy Ironhammer. I'm sure a guardian like you would know about the correct. Drawing himself back, Neo shook his head in disbelief. You have what? Al leaned forward, his mouth agape. Really? Why you? How? Holding back a stern gaze on Neo, Vladimir retorted. Because I was the only one to volunteer. Wearing his eyes back down to the marshy ground of cold mud easing above his hooves, Neo felt his stomach plummet. Vladimir returned his sights forward, letting one hoof off the floor. I'm sorry I had to stay quiet about it. I know you may not trust me, but I know that I want nothing more than to see the Coalition liberate this land. With Ironhammer gone, we can finally take the final steps to freeing this province. Now, Vladimir added hastily, if you don't mind, I'd like to remove ourselves from this ghastly tunnel. Once more, Vladimir started to walk down the tunnel, following behind Neo rose to his own feet. Stepping in the Ranger's footprints, ingrained with the solid earth fell beneath them. If what he said was true, any ounce of it, then indeed he would make for a powerful ally. But something still stirred inside him, the same sinking in his gut, a tingle running down the back of his neck. Familiar tone pestered Neo about the newcomer. In the Ranger's deep purple eyes, that familiarity was lost. Whoever he was, whatever he was, eluded Neo. He just had to piece together the truth, one step at a time. In the middle of a desolate street, amidst dozens of skyscrapers towering high above to the black, chemically saturated clouds, thunder boomed. In a narrow alleyway, two brick walls on either side were adorned with posters, worn and faded by time. Tearing limply at their dirt-stained corners, a manhole at the far end of the alley shook, rattling about. Vladimir's head popped out of sight of Mevisel's sail-up. Sticking his nose out of the hole, the weight of the metal piece forcibly pressed against the back of his head. The longer the seal continued to lean on him, the greater the status of its hefty lid made his head ache. With his horn dimly encased in a halo of crimson magical aura, the manhole cover levitated off of him and over to the side. Climbing out of the hole, Vladimir helped those still inside out. One at a time, every soul confined to condensed space in the tunnel below merged into the outside world. There was a little difference in quality of air. Like the quality had been outside the mine, it held a bitter, putrid smell that resembled sulfur burning in hot flame. A cool breeze, sickening in odor, pressed slightly against the coats of the group. Two Socks strolled to the end of the alley, where the sidewalk met the road. As Two Socks approached the sidewalk, he tossed aside the leasing helmet. Taking in a deep, churning breath, the wind graced the heads of sweat speckling his cheeks. "How devil that helmet!" Two Socks panted, plunking his haunches down onto the broken cement. Lucy did the same. Or rather, she threw her helmet down violently against the nearby brick wall. Retaining smirks, he boomed, "Goodbye, helmet!" Pulling the chest piece over her shoulders, it too was flung to the wall with the same tremendously passionate force. Those still suited to the Lisa attire undressed. The tight armor no longer constricting their bodies was a rejuvenating sensation. For the first time since they had disguised themselves, they could breathe. Dropping the freshly removed breastplate of his uniform, Neo inhaled through his nose. Allowing his chest to fully inflate, Neo held it in the air before releasing it all. Returning to their old clothing of choice, the group started to gather in the center of the alleyway. While Vladimir trotted to the sidewalk, poking his head out into the street. Adam spun as those loose flaps of his dresser twirled about. Smiling at the wonderful warmth his coat brought, Adam looked to Neo. "I can't believe you managed to get all my things!" Laying a hoof to Seema's left seam, Adam chuckled. I wasn't sure if I'd see my stuff again. "Come on," Neo laughed, patting Adam squarely on the back. "You wouldn't think about leaving the stuff behind." Shimmering eyes, Adam hugged his brother. "Thank you, brother." Wrapping one leg around his brother, Neo returned the gesture. Bill took a single step towards Neo. A beaming smile irradiated the side of his face. "Did you grab my stuff too?" Neo's joints locked. A swift chill flushed through him. Bill's smile faded. "Did you grab my stuff, right?" Slowly turning his face Bill, Neo rubbed the back of his neck. Well, no, not exactly." Throwing his head back, Bill snapped. "What?" Waiting to reasserting hoof out, taking a few cautious steps backward. "I was under a lot of pressure." Brusquely raising himself, Bill placed his face into it. "I had everything in there." Two Socks came to Bill's side, gently rubbing his back. "It's all right, Bill. We can get you new stuff. Shinier stuff." Lifting his eyes to Neo, Two Socks gazed at him, smiling. Can't thank you enough for what you've done. For all you've done to help me save my friend." Rosie used an answer. "It was nothing." "Not to me," Two Socks interjected. "I'll give you something for all you've done." "Two Socks, you don't have to give us anything," Neo replied. Shaking his head, Two Socks interjected sturdily. "I'm sorry, compadre. I can't do that. You see, that's not the way I do business. Saving my friend means the world to me. Having it done won't feel right if you don't get something out of it." "I got my brother back," Neo said. "That's all I need." "But," Lucy intervened, stepping between them and forcing them both to move aside, "I'll be more than willing to take that reward. Need to fix up my wagon when I get back, and that won't be cheap." And Two Socks blinked at the mayor. "I don't have money. Well, not much." "What?" Scoochie scoffed her mouth again. Opening his saddlebag, Two Socks stuck a hoof inside, digging through the plethora of junk filling the bags. Provided with the bag, resting neatly in his hoof, was a small gray lunchbox. On the top of the box, engraved in bold white letters, was the words, "Secret, don't touch." Resting the box down in front of him, Two Socks gracefully stroked the lid, smiling. "I keep some of my most valued treasures in this box. Honest from our travels across this blasted world of ours." Pushing the lid, Two Socks took a round object, no bigger than a well-sized rock from the lockbox. Wrapped entirely in a fine brown leather iron, was light, weighing no more than a baseball. "This," he said, "this is one of my most valued possessions. want you to have it. Lucy let her head drop. But I needed the money. Perhaps next time, Lester remarked, carefully patting her back. Perhaps next time. Adam came to Two Socks, rotating the trinket from himself to his face. Peering intently at the strange eye, Adam said, "You can't take this, especially if it means that much to you." "You don't take it," Two Socks retorted. "I'll scream." The very thought of Two Socks battling a grinding shriek for a long duration of time sent Adam reeling back. "No, no, I'm sure. We'll take it. This face will scream." Well, Sight bowed his head, and took the gift and placed it inside his bags. "What are you going to do now that it's all over for you?" Neo asked. Shrugging, Two Socks answered, "Leave our kids. They'll find a caravan again. Travel the world some more." Bill rose his head. "We'll also need to get some new gear." "Right," Two Socks agreed. "But first we need money." Returning to Neo, Two Socks continued, "What about you? Still gonna look for your mom?" "We'll try," Neo sighed. "Well, guess it's goodbye then." "Looks like it, huh?" Anna replied. "Until near the final chapters." Two Socks roughly smudged his coat cheeks with his sleeve. "The lack of ass. You say it, my lacking." Frustrator carried Two Socks, who, behind him, not more than 3 feet away, was the rest of his fellow striped soldiers. "We too, Seppies are parting. Now our debt has been paid." Neo rested a hoof easily on the Bloodstrider's shoulder, smiling affectionately at the blindfolded cheerleader wrapped around the warrior's eyes. "I can't even begin to express my gratitude." Laying a hoof on top of Neo's head, Bloodstrider smiled. "Warrior of the arena, champion, this is not our final meeting." Glancing Bloodstrider's leg, Neo muttered, "It isn't?" "No," Chief grunted. "The pavement has been served, if you should need my help. Not as our champion, but friend of Tiger Company, to find us in bond. There my people shall stay, until we move to the border in 3 days' time." Neo nodded at the chief, a collection of tears pooling in the corners of his eyes. "Thank you." Suddenly giving him a single nod, he directed the dots of his blindfold to Adam. "Adam, keep watch over your brother. Trust in him as he has with you. You shall never be parted again." Adam smiled at Bloodstrider. "I will." "The one they call Two Socks," Bloodstrider proclaimed loudly over the 2 ponies. Snapping to attention, Bloodstrider's ears erected. "Yes?" "You may travel with my brothers, if you should choose to, until we are out of the city." "Would be an honor." Two Socks erupted with a wide grin. "Good." Bloodstrider snorted, turning his head to the sky. "Then let us make haste, before darkness settles over the land." Trotting down the alleyway, Bloodstrider and the rest of his company strode off. Two Socks followed him as Bill looked over his shoulder at the group waving. Al waved his hoof in the air, while Tiger Company eventually evacuated the valley. Vladimir saw them walk along the sidewalk till they reached the next block, vanishing behind the corner of the old banking building. He turned his sights to the rest of the group, stationed in the center of the alley. The soreness manifested in Vladimir's brow, quickly spreading to the rest of his cranium. The scenery before him blurred as the pain gnawed away, drawing the wine flask from his duster. He pulled the lid to his lips, gulping the sweet red liquid down. "So far, so good," the creature hissed to his ear. "Let's see how far you'll make it." Retracting the cold metal flask from his mouth, his vision started to clear, whilst the pain lifted itself from him. "It hasn't shown itself since I've been around him," Vladimir thought. "Perhaps my memories of her might end the torment yet. I just hope it isn't listening. Sweet Lord Celestia, I hope not." Neo and the others approached Vladimir, Neo holding his eyes locked and glaring at him as he came within 2 steps distance. "So what about you?" Neo asked Vladimir. "Are you going to continue your mission?" "Indeed. I don't really see much else to do." Raising an eyebrow at Neo, Vladimir queried, "What about you lot? What might be your destination?" "The mountains," Neo returned sourly. Rolling a hoof, Vladimir leaned towards Neo. "And that is your destination, is it now?" Puffing his chest, Neo fumed, "That's all you need to hear." Neo stuck a hoof out in front of Neo, chuckling lightly. "It's all right, brother. Let's not get frustrated over this." Smirking at Neo, Vladimir held his head high. It's very interesting we should meet. Well, you see, I too am heading to the mountains. Where in the mountains might that be? Neo grunted, overtly turning his eyes up at the green freelancer. Just in the mountains. However, that's all I know. My map was taken from me. Lowering his head down to Neo's eye level, Vladimir clipped. Besides, if I knew more, I couldn't say. And why is that? Neo commanded. Vladimir trolled once. Because that would be all you needed to hear. A heat, blowing deep within Neo, flushed to his face as the freelancer mocked him. Pushing Urs leaped forward and lost his hope in Ranger space pinned down. Adam's foreleg, freely placed in front of him, prevented any confrontation he desired. Averting his attention to Adam, Vladimir asked with a more humble smile, Would you mind if I came along? Fate did bring us together. There is strength in numbers. Also, Vladimir added, I know a shortcut into the mountains. I can assure you it is completely safe. In fact, I was on my way there just before the Legion took me into custody. No, Neo boomed. We're along fine without your help. Right, Adam? Adam was staring at the ash-coated ground silently. Neo blinked down. Right, Adam? Drawing his pip back to his face, Adam sighed, returning to his brother. If we go on with Adam, we'll have to navigate to the peaks of the mountains before descending down to them to the road we need to take. My way would cut right through the mountains. It'll save you a tremendous amount of grief, Vladimir noted. Wester sighed to Neo's side. I'll be on full alert while we travel. If an ambush or another means of surprises await for us, I'll know before they attack us. Taking a full lung of air, Neo drowned out the fire building in him. All right, but this doesn't mean that I trust you. I understand, Vladimir said. I don't blame you either. I know what it's like to want to protect those you love. How far would you say the shortcut is, Ranger? Lucy asked. Vladimir motioned his head towards the empty street. Not far at all, actually, miss. Lucky, Lucy stated. My mouse friends to call me Lucy. Right, Lucy, Vladimir continued. It's just down the road from here. No more than a few blocks away. Good. Lucy scoffed, lifting a hoof, dangling a few inches from the ground. I'm tired of walking a dozen miles. Vladimir laughed. Excellent. Then let's not waste more time, shall we? Facing the street, Vladimir trotted down the alleyway. Behind him, Lester and Lucy followed with Neo, hovering at the stair, his head hanging lowly to the broken asphalt. Peacock gingerly ambled at the back, gingerly moving along with the group. Walking out into the middle of the road, Adam saw out of the corner of his vision the sulking filly. Her ears had flattened themselves down, pressing the curling mane beneath. The glimmering sapphire eyes of the filly were looking towards the road she traveled. Adam veered back toward her. Peacock? The little one stared down. What? Cocking his head to one side, Adam spoke gently to her. Is there something wrong? Shaking her head vigorously, she replied, No, nothing. Your ears are completely folded, and you're lagging behind. By the way things are, I say it doesn't look like nothing, Anna remarked. Biglot opened her mouth to speak, only to let out a low squeak, promptly shutting her lips. She felt the intense knotting fester in her chest. It's your brother, and that armored one, she whispered. Adam shrugged. Let out. Grimacing, to feel it pointing her snout to her chest. You strange. That hurts you in my heart. Maybe you should apologize to my brother about what you did. Prove to him you're not so bad. I think Wester's forgiven you, but if you feel that way about how my brother acts around you, it wouldn't hurt to say sorry. Slamming her face up to Adam, Bill reeled back, stumbling over her hose. What? You went to Mr. Brotherhood? Adam warmly responded, I think it'll be good for you to make amends with him. Puckering her lips, Biggot sneered. What does what mean? Biggot rocked her head back, trying out the word. Amends. Luckily placing a hoof atop her curly locks, Adam ruffled her mind. It means to fix your problems with someone. They can forgive one another for wrong defining the two of you. Face turned pale.
You don't like good. He hates me. My brother's a little stubborn. He can be a little extreme at times, said Adam. But, he interjected swiftly, his heart's in the right place. Just wants to make sure we're safe. Looking his eyes to his brother, Adam smiled. I could go with you if it makes you feel more comfortable. Big Lot kept quiet, cringing at the tiny knot twisting her heart tighter with each passing moment. A soft, reassuring pat gently tapped her back. Adam retained the same welcoming smile, gazing down at her. Just confront the issue when you feel ready, Adam cooed. I'll be right there when you're ready, I promise. Vladimir stood at the base of a long set of marble steps, thinly caked in ash and dirt. Before him, spanning hundreds of feet in both directions, was a colossal build, varying facade adorned by shattered glass windows, hulking radiant columns, smooth stone piers, shaped by the elements, supporting the protruding rim of stone pyramid roofs. A golden-rimmed clock was perched right in the middle of the building's facade, scarred by a nasty white crack twisting across his face. Both the hour hand and the minute hand of the dead machine stood frozen on the dusty number 12. Below it, sets of glass doors ripped from their frames lay idly inside. Outside the structure, a multitude of sharp pieces. The dark empty windows held within them an unsettling gloom as the darkness within pervaded each one. This eerie aura stiffened the hairs along the back of Vladimir's neck, while a shudder gusted itself through him. A torn banner of blue, white, and red horizontal stripes was struck by the ropes attached to the hooks upon the roof. Inscribed on the colorful sign in bold letters were the words, "Provincial Pride, the grand new exhibit opening tomorrow." The entire group stared at the hollow structure, nearly cocking at its majesty. "What is it?" asked Neo. "It's a museum," Vladimir answered. "At best, a long time ago." Please, Vladimir, Neo pondered aloud. "Do you remember why you came here?" Vladimir's eyes trailed down to the fractured glass of the front entrance. "I came during a hunting trip when I was younger. Much, much younger." Well, Adam awed. What sort of exhibits do you think they have? Do you think they have any pre-war tech?
Shrugging, Vladimir started up the steps. "I can't say for sure. As I said, it's been quite some time since my last visit. What do you ask?"
Bounding up the steps, Adam responded with getting haste. Technology of the past is mysterious. Who knows what wonders were like before then? Like, what were the previous generations of Pip look like? I've heard them, but to see a real one would be awesome. Just imagine what kind of circuitry lay underneath it.
And paused midway through his sentence at the sight of Lucy, who was staring at him widely. "You done yet?" Adam's cheeks blew to a rosy hue, as he fistfully rubbed the back of his neck with his grin nervously.
Couldn't help myself.
Crossing the front doors leading to the museum, Vladimir promptly chirped, "We all have our interests." The doors Vladimir came to had been blasted apart off their hinges, spilled out across the empty steel frames of the doors, laying upon the matted purple carpet were sheets of compressed pebbles and grass. Crouching underneath the weight of their hoofs, the group wandered carefully over the shards and into the building. The foyer of the museum was drenched by pitch darkness, piercing the shadow nearer the shifts of dim light on the outside steeped into the holes in the damaged windows above the entrance. Switching on their orange pit-buck lamps, a halo of fluorescent illumination beamed off the walls, peeling the dark black, revealing the interior. A brown reception desk was placed on the back wall. Climbing up next to the floor, breathing around it, were two staircases. Dull, rusted railings accompanied a thread moth-eaten carpet laid over the black and white marble steps. Above the desk, crooked, bulgy silver letters hanging thinly by jutted poles were the words, "Through knowledge we can prepare for the unknown. Through knowledge we can overcome the unknown. Through knowledge we can tame it as our own." Big-Lot, ambling her way past the entrance, came to the front desk, peering over the corner at the staging above. Vexed by his meaning, she pouted as the others came inside, meandering about the open room.
What does that even mean?
Big-Lot commanded. Lucy sauntered over to the desk, gazing upward at the message decorating the back wall. "Beats me," Lucy shrugged. "Quite frankly, I don't think it matters anymore." In the center of the foyer,
sewn into the dusty carpet was a large black compass rose. Strung over his finely woven seams, Neil gazed at his features. Drawing a hoof over the left flank of his duster, he raised it, exposing the key mark emblazing his flank. Neil's eyes wandered, darting his gaze back to the floor. He found the symbol that bore him was the same marking on the ground. Letting loose the flap of his coat, he stepped back from the compass. Neil glanced at the mark on the floor. That looks just like your key mark, brother. Forcefully gulping, Neil nervously nodded. I noticed. Al's pupils back and forth before returning to his brother. What do you think it means? Seeing his head furiously, Neil felt a shudder roll down his spine. I don't know, but I don't like it. Gently tapping a hoof to the first step of the right staircase, Vladimir turned his head toward the top of the stairs. Don't worry about taking it all in. There's plenty more to see up here. Wester had already taken a spot behind Vladimir, climbing up the stairs close by. The others followed their lead, ascending the stairway to the next area of the museum. Each heavy clop against the weathered carpet lightly rebounded upon the baize peeling paper of the doll-like walls. A set of cracking oak doors, embroidered in gold and stained with a lavish shade of cherry red, were already parted. Overhead, a bronze white arcing sign was labeled in white exhibits. Crossing the threshold of the new room, the group entered a large rotunda. The ambient reflection of the brightest pitbucks glistened off the polished silver of the dome over their heads. To the left and to the right were identical doorways, each sporting the same sort of copper arching signs, indicating what attraction was inside. The left was marked as "Before Ponies, the natives before the colonization of our fair province," whilst the other bore "Today's heroes of our great land." Both entrances leading into the exhibits and cherry wood doors closed, bolstered by a layer of thick rolling grille barriers. Posted outside the doorways were stout, red-foldable signs labeled "Closed." A third door right before them. It, like the other doors, had beautiful oak doors. Over its frame, a more articulate arch of cobalt lined the copper base, held the words of attraction. Our future! Like the last two exhibits, the doors leading to this section of the museum had already been pushed in slightly. Vladimir approached the doors, a hoof reaching out, barely touching the dust-ridden, splattering wooden surface. He shoved one door completely open. The brass hinges supporting the weight of the door creaked as it swung entirely open for him. Everyone had gathered in the center of the room, gazing high into the glossy reflection of the dome. Standing within the doorway, Vladimir slightly poked a purple eye over his shoulder at the group. Do you mind if we wait here? I need to do something to make this journey through this place a little more pleasant. Lester snapped his crimson visor out, hastily rushing to Vladimir's side. No, I'm coming as well. Taking his eyes off the distorting reflection of the dome, Neo set his sights on the freelancer. Keep a keen eye on Wester. Make sure he stays out of trouble. Retaining an unwavering look of Vladimir, Wester levitated one python revolver near his shoulder. Affirmative. Vladimir snickered. It doesn't matter to me. I'm sure everyone will appreciate what I'm going to do. Gently poking Vladimir's haunts with the barrel of his weapon, Wester motioned his head to the next room. What's that time, Ranger? A plastic expression came to Vladimir's face. Right, he started. Fair enough. Come this way. It isn't far. Trying into the next dark room, those within the confines of the vast, open spaces were trying to stare at the somber doorway. Irradiating a still unsettling silence. A few minutes flew by, feeling as though no more than a few seconds had nearly come and left. Then, his voice cut through the quiet. All right, come on in. His voice echoed, reverberating on the dome above. They got sapphire eyes, gleamed in the light of Anna's pitbuck. Unable to remove them from the side of the darkened doorway, she whimpered, flattening her ears and crouching herself to the floor. So dark in here. Anne gave her a smile, flashing the bright screen of his pitbuck's lamp at the door, exposing the doorway draped in darkness. He'll be okay. Brother and I will be right here with our lamps. You come this far, right? Well, what's this small little room? Its words sparked the lofty energy within her. Lifting her head, she took in a deep breath. Likewise, expelling the same air, nodding one to him. Good job. Just keep forgetting we'll get through this, Adam commented her. Now, let's go see what he found. Getting into the combat shotgun for the strap on his back, Neil warily tread the door, letting each cautious step down lightly. Be ready in case that guy pulls something on us. Lucy flicked the safety off her sniper, narrowing her eyes and following firmly next to Neo. Right! Allie drew her pistol, while Al searched his bags for a gun, only to find a beat-up revolver with 3 shots left in the barrel. Biglock puffed at her chest, heaving a steadfast lock onto the various weapons the other ponies in the group held. A great hate flushed into her pink cheeks, altering complacency with more blooming shade color. What do you mean, get a gun? Where's my weapon? Hiss. Shh! Neo hushed her. A hoof placed to his lips as he came to an opened oak door, slowly pressing upon the second door. Neo, shotgun on and arm heavy at his side, narrowed his eyes against the walls of his chest. He felt each brisk heartbeat pound immensely as he grew closer to entering the dark, alien exhibit area. Crossing the doorway, Neo slipped his body into the door into a dark room. The next section of the museum had a high ceiling, a wide open area decorated in black tile. A shaggy old red carpet pressed beneath their hooves, while the light radiating off his lamp extended the brightness of the region. Within the void gradually retreating from Neo, the rough outline of a figure standing 30 feet from him came into view. A strange creature held a golden glimmer as a silhouette of the pony emerged closer to Neo approached it. Raising her over his brow, Neo shifted his head to one side, squinting his eyes at the pony-shaped object. Cautiously drifting to his side, Allie directed her attention to the new entity. Lifting an eyebrow, Allie wondered aloud, what is it? A swift clang thunderous erupted, exciting the air with a loud buzz that traveled throughout the entire room. Quickly taking aim at the golden figure, it fell into the shadows of the barrels of the 4 ponies, were locked firmly into his large, gleaming head. Biglock dived behind Adam, shielding her head with her hooves as the sound boomed over time. A pillar of light, slicing through the dark, snapped onto the golden figure. All around the room, small golden lights on hair-thin wires dangled from the ceiling, illuminating the cell. Some flickered on, whilst others brightly shined down on the floor. In the fresh light, the golden figure was exposed. Upon a solid gold plinth, the statue of a unicorn mare, standing proudly beside an earth pony stallion, glinted. Together, the 2 male bodies held their heads aloft, puffing out their chests while standing on the rim of a mighty jagged boulder pointing outward. Behind the statue was a solid beige wall, adorned by red curtains tied to the edges by a shimmering golden rope faded by time. Round golden speakers were tucked away in the corners of the room, amongst the fine white crown molding. Were circular musical players, a powerful shriek blasted nearly deafening in pitch. In the wake of the blaring sound came a song of cheerful, bouncing jazz music, consisting of a trumpet and drums playing away at a tempo, accompanied by narrowing notes of pattern. Slowly removing her hose from the top of her head, Biglock blinked at the dusty tile floor, reflecting the lights above on the lustrous surfaces. The lights? Turning his sights to the lights above him, Neo lowered his weapon. Yeah, the lights. Al's eyes grew wide while looking up the fixture slowly hung overhead, while a wide grin spread across his face. There's power! Mostly trying to his brother, Al poked Neo in the shoulder. There's actual power in here! Smiling, Neo eyed at the lights above. I can't believe it. Of all the places. Neo's eyes peeled back to the statue. Out of space, the red carpet parted to both sides. The 2 other opposing legs of crimson rug curved behind the 2 walk spaces at both ends of the wall to the back of the golden statue. Now clearly visible in the new light were the words, inscribed to the flat center of the plinth. The bold text said, There is no greater land than the land of iron. President Ironhoof, our promise's founder. Out of the left walk space, the statue came Vladimir, prying easily to the quivering work of art. Western followed behind him, scanning the newly illuminated space. Laying a hoof on the small, cold surface of the statue's base, Vladimir chuckled, brushing away the thick layer of dust powering the gold.
It's a fine piece of art, no?
Lucy scoffed at Vladimir, jerking her head to the two golden ponies. How much do you think it'll take to build something like that? Vladimir sighed, gazing to his reflection on the steady surface.
Too much, my lady. Too much.
Shifting his somber purple eyes at the rest of the group, he spun around to the left of the walkway, leading into the next room.
But there's plenty more to see. Builders of this magnificent place left behind a whole assortment of things.
Waving a beckoning huff, Vladimir walked around the edge of the hall next to the statue exhibit. Behind him, others followed, entering the next section of the full exhibit. A long room spanned before them. Rows of small, golden-lined lights hung from the crackling ceiling. Square pillars decorated with carvings of stallions and mares holding up marble spears of the world, supporting the roof overhead. The same carpets, stained with the gray smudges of dust, drew whoever wanted upon it to the luxurious chamber sitting beside the other parallel. At the doorway leading into the area, a ticket booth built to the wall set dim. Behind the crackling fogged glass was a sign pinned to the center stating it was closed. Guarding the opening next door, four turnstiles, two above each length of carpet, was tucked and laid in. Placing his hose on the top center gaff, Vladimir leaped over it, and members of the groups following him performed the same action of bounding over the gates. Along the left side of the room were three doors. The furthest one was colored in green chipping paint labeled Maintenance. The middle door boasted a red hue, spent the orange tint of rust creeping over its vibrant color. This door was marked simply as Employees Only. The closest door was like the last into nearly every fashion, both for color and title. Located at the farther side of the room was a vast open doorway. Inside were three tiny silver shell-shaped buggies, sporting small lights dimly ignited in their fronts. Four turnstiles blocked out the entrance to the carts, leading to a hallway not visible from the ticket booth. Adam got to the attention to detail engraved on the pillars, knowing particularly the determined, narrowed eyes of those supporting the marble glows with their forelegs. His eyes wandered up to the stone pillar until a small, lavishly decorated chandelier came to view. Adam stared at the lights. How did you get the power on? Vladimir paused in the middle of the room, facing Adam.
There's an emergency generator in the maintenance room. Something truly remarkable. I'm surprised it still works after all these years.
Keeping his eyes down the lights, Adam nodded. It must work on an eternal magical coil. Unlike normal generators, they can still power up even if they've been active for long periods of time. Speaking is here, Vladimir rose with an eyebrow at Adam.
How did you?
Looking at Vladimir, Adam responded with a smile. Our stable has generators that work in the same way.
Oh, Vladimir murmured. I see.
Neo came to the first employee's only door, focusing on the pearly polished knob that gradually turned before a door drifted with a faint creak. Pushing the door inside, a frigid breeze whisked by him, sending a shivering jolt down through his entire body. The interior was dark, as thick motes of gray dust floated about in the cold air. A single desk made up the furniture of an employee workspace, along with a few knocked-over filing cabinets, dented, with each drawer thrown open. Papers and files littered the floor as the green desk lamp, knocked over the desktop, flickered sporadically. A sparking buzz accompanied the inconsistent flashing light. Sticking his head to the doorway, Neo stepped inside the office. Posters of a green mare holding a bat firmly in her hose smacked a blue alicorn upon the head. In crimson background, the poster were the words, Smack some sense into Luna! Sign the legend for Fanatical Sovereignty today! The further Neo advanced in the room, the more thick the air became. A pungent, sour odor lingered within the entire area. Lifting a hoof to his nose, Neo stumbled back, crinkling the bridge of his snout. Bumping his flanks into the wall next to the door, something firm poked him on the haunch. Peering over his shoulder, Neo stepped back in the light of the pony skeleton, laying against the wall behind him. His heart racing, breathing deep, he locked eyes at the deceased individual. All of the flesh had rotted away from the bones, leaving merely a few strands of hair draping over the hollow, pitted eye sockets of the skull. In the bright, beaming light pouring through the open doorway, a brass name tag was pinned to the lapel of a decaying blue pinstripe suit, sagging off the pony's bones. torn at the seams and powdered in a thin layer of dust collecting on the suit's surface, kneeling closer to the body. Squinting his eyes at the label and tested the corpse, the name was hidden under a thick coat of dust. Around the more polished, sharp edges of the tag glistened in the entering illumination, causing the corners to sparkle as Neil drew closer. Using the end of his sleeve, Neil wiped away the grime, revealing the small black layers engraved underneath. Governor Stormfury, the tag read. Out of the corner of his vision, Neil saw the corner of a black squared object protrude from their side. Shifting his attention to the new item, he gently pushed Stormfury's body aside. Tucked away neatly underneath the remains was a holotape, carefully protected by the dead pony atop it. The recorder had little dust collecting on its top. Nudging out to a more open space of the floor, Neil pressed the play button, and most of the power was still surging through it. The device being quiet for a moment, but after a few seconds a click rang from the machine as the recording played. There was an instant where the audio merely sounded faded clicks and clangs. Then Amira's voice picked up, deep and brisk, authority dripping from her tone. I told you to get the Pegasus statue for the entrance to the ride. Yes, the gold one. What other statue would I... Yeah, what? What foot? You gave me a discount on the other two. What if it's not included with the deal? Make it included. A loud slam boomed from the record speakers, followed by a dim ring of a telephone, clashing forcefully against the wooden surface, possibly the desk. Damn contractors, she continued. I don't need to understand. We're opening this museum in 2 weeks. The whole province will be waiting. At least I caught most of that on. Yeah, fuck me. The recording ended. Another promptly took its place. I just got done filming for the exhibit today. Just about everything is placed. Some of the animatronics, if I've been told correctly, are still not functioning properly. This presents an issue. One I don't need when I have hundreds of protesters in Ironhoof bearing down my neck about seating from Equestria. Every other message I file into the ministries gets eaten up by the million other requests or notices they received. I suppose it just goes to show how much they care about our providence. Not like they even care to begin with, for that matter. Last one now ended. Do record play instead. At least now until opening. Something like a continuous giggle. Those stupid mares running the ministries. I can smell a storm coming. One day they'll test us all into doing things we never thought we'd do. The ministries will have us believe it'll be okay. It'll merely blow on by or be tomorrow's news. But they're afraid. I can see in their eyes, even when addressing the nation. They're afraid they can't handle the unknown. But we can and will. The worst mistake will be that they never took any of the messages I said seriously. The new recording began, no sooner than the last had finished. The work I've done to keep all of this under the ministry's noses. Sure, I've been giving out some money under the table. Sure, I had to lie to get this far without exposing the projects we're developing. Well, that's the only order to go, they ask. What happened to those scientists you hired to study the crops in the south? Where did they disappear to? I kept quiet, not alerting to the fact of preparing for the worst. All they know, I'm building a new line of luxury cruise liners for the wealthy and privileged. Little did I know. A few beams pinged from the speakers, while one more large followed. Sorcery's voice was slow and grim, slurred by the president's sigh, grasping to her tone. We did a demo run of the ride at the local elementary school. 30 fellows accompanied by the teachers, and there was tearful expression on their stout faces. I don't think I've seen children act with such mirth like getting a ride. When they got off, well, that was a different matter entirely. Their joyous expressions were completely gone, like all the happiness bottled within suddenly saturated their little bodies. Even the teachers had a gloom hovering about them. So while I stood outside the exit, I politely stopped the colonel and asked, What, if anything, did you learn? And he scratched his mane before sighing. You know? He said, I don't know why we haven't stopped those bad ponies yet. What bad ponies? I asked. He said, the equestrians. Why haven't we left them? What are we going to do to stop them from hurting all the good ponies? Looked at him honestly as his yellow eyes stared at me. Well, I answered, I don't know. I don't know. In the semi-last recording, indicated by 2 beats, a new sound punctured the standard relaxed mood of the previous logs. Commonly muffled in the background was sounds of hosts stepping quietly, whilst voices, tinged with panic sound, screamed. Once the chaotic symphony of pandemonium was Seraphira's voice, somber in tone. My name is Governor Stormfairy of the Ironhood Province. I suppose this is the end. If you're listening to this, you're a member of the Great Plan. At this time, I'm sure you don't know what it is, as it won't be mentioned in Stables 142's curriculum. Likewise, you can assume that I am dead. Just know that what we leave behind is the ashes of the old world. Cascade of fire, dark and magical taint. Right now, Ironhood City has just been hit by a balefire bomb. I know not if I may survive, or will be the next place to receive us attack. Gods be damned, we never wanted this! If we field their war effort, set our own into the fury of war, just to end up being dragged down into the fires of the apocalypse with them. It will be the last of our proud land who needed from the old world. But our province will live on. It will rise beyond the constraints of Equestria, beyond those damn goddesses and their crazy stupidity. Static interrupted the next few seconds of the recording. At a clear blare of static eruption, the sound of the door closing clattered through our office to the attraction. Besides, Stormfury said, I have little regret in this world. All is prepared. Those who are needed are in the appropriate stables, and the bunkers are filled with civilians. The sleepers think they've destroyed us. They destroyed Equestria? No, they have finished the job we needed to do. So long ago. At the moment the recording cut, the last beat clicked, signaling the final recording. Crackling audio broke up into gasping wheeze. The last message Storm Fury left was a blow-killing choking of our rasping, tormented, bellowing words. We weren't ready. We weren't ready. We weren't ready. The message repeated in a constant loop.